Spoiler alert for Mushoku Tensei Volume 10. If you haven't read it, then I suggest you do so before continuing on to this video. Rudeus and Sylphine have now become an official couple. But little do they know, there are still more exciting things to happen. Hello everybody, this is the Anime Bro here, and welcome to another video. And today, I'll be reviewing Mushoku Tensei Volume 10. Now before this video starts, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this. And come back next time as I talk about Volume 11. And now, let's begin this video. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the story. Now Volume 10 honestly is a great volume. I would say it's the opposite of Volume 7. Where Volume 7 was very sad with Rudeus starting off sad, then it getting better, and then it just dropping off at the end. Volume 10 was just happy all the way through. We get so many great moments. We get Rudeus proposing to Sylphine. We get Rudeus getting his new house. We get a big secret from Elinalise. We get to meet Norn and Aisha and Rejerd again. All in all, it was just a great volume. Now normally I would say this wouldn't be a good volume because the flow really wasn't that good, because there were some time skips and all that, but honestly I couldn't care. It was a good happy moment. Everyone got their moments to shine, even Cliff, which I was surprised about. I kind of do love Cliff a little bit more than before. Before I just straight up hated the guy. Now I can actually tolerate him, and I can see why people enjoy him. So that is a good thing. But all in all, this was a great volume. Now if I'm going to compare volume 7 to 10, it would be very hard, because the one thing I really did like about Volume 7 was that it kind of had everything going for me. It had a great story, it had some world building, and the flow just felt natural. With Volume 10, the flow felt natural, yes, and it was good moments and all that, but there really wasn't much world building. It was mostly just the moments, but honestly, it was still great. I would probably put it maybe second best over Volume 7, but to me that's a big surprise. I wasn't really thinking I would enjoy this, because so far the Slice in Life has been a little bit downer, but it did get better, so that's a plus. And eventually ended now. I will just end it here by saying that this is definitely one of the best volumes ever, and honestly, if I were to reread all these volumes, I would definitely be happy to reread this one. Alright, now let's talk about characters. Now honestly, this one's actually very short, because I'm going to leave Aisha and Norn to volume 11, because it seems like that volume will have more on them than this one does. So the only character that honestly I have to talk about is Rejerd. Rejerd appears at the very end of this volume, and really there was no other new characters in here. But still, it was a big surprise to see not only Rudeus' little sisters, but also Rejerd, because honestly, I like this guy. Now since the last time we actually met Rejerd, we mostly know some things that happened during the trip. So first off, he helped Aisha and Norn get to Rudeus. Paul commanded that both of them go to Rudeus so that they can be safe while Paul and his party go and find Zenith. And before that, he was actually going south to look for more superbs, because he heard information that there may be some down there. But sadly, he was not successful in that regard. And then a last thing I want to actually bring up is that when Rejerd actually first met Roxy, she was terrified. And honestly, that was not really a surprise. Superbs are known to be hated. But honestly, it was a bit surprising, because I thought she was there when Rejerd was saving her village from something. But apparently, she wasn't, so it was a big shock for her. But that was basically all I had to say about Rejerd. Most of the stuff that I actually have is in the iconic moments, so that's why I'm going to save some stuff for that. But anyways, I'm not just going to end this part very short. I got a comment. So I will actually end off with a comment. So the comment is from Lucas van Wijngaarden. I am so sorry, dude. I know I'm probably butchering your name right now. So I won't read the whole comment because only the first part I want to talk about. So in the last video when I was talking about Cliff, I said that he was the adopted grandchild of the Pope. Now that was technically right, but it still wasn't right. So what I didn't know, or what I probably forgot, was that Cliff is the biological grandchild of the Pope. It's just that he was given to the orphanage for safekeeping, so that nothing could happen to him. So that was basically all I have to say about that. Thank you so much again, Lucas, for actually doing that, and also so sad for everyone who was expecting this to be a bit longer. I hope that the next one will actually be longer because we do have some more characters in there, and it will definitely be a lot more interesting. Alright, now let's talk about location. Now, just like character, there is only one location, but I will try my best to actually lengthen this to a decent amount of minutes. So, the location that we visit is, well, Rudeus's house. So, Rudeus's house was something he had to buy and also exorcise because apparently it was haunted. But it turns out it wasn't, and it was run by like a doll and stuff. So it technically wasn't haunted, but I guess it kind of was because there was nobody in there. But anyways, that's just the beginning. The house was haunted in the beginning. Now, in Rudeus's house, there is 6 bedrooms, 4 small and 2 medium. There's a kitchen, and there is also a bathroom. So basically, it is a very large house, able to fit a lot of people in it. Kind of like my house, in fact. Now, some other things that are interesting and that actually stand out in the house is that there's a fireplace with a famous craftsman crest on it. So this house was made with, I guess, the best parts or the best way possible if a famous craftsman crest was on it. I totally forgot what the craftsman's name was, but it's a very important one, so that is something. Also, in terms of flooring, there is actually 3 floors. There's 2 normal ones above and also a basement. So, yeah, there's that many floors. Now, another thing is that it has a garden. And this is very cool to have because, you know, during medieval times, you will get bored very easily. You won't have much to do. So having a garden that you will have to tend to will be something that will kill time and all that. Another interesting thing about it is that the bathroom has a large bath in it. And when Sylphie actually came in, she kind of mistook it for a hot spring. It was really that big. So in terms of cleaning and whatnot, they are actually doing all right. So that isn't pretty impressive. And one kind of cute note that I did like that Rudeus added was that the roof was green. And the reason why he chose green was that it was to symbolize Sylphie's original hair, because her hair is white now, but before that it was green. So that's a cute little thing to add. And one final note, which honestly is still something I really don't like about Rudeus, is that he has a secret cupboard for his goddesses. And if you've read to this point, oh my goodness, you know what is in there. If not, I will just say it's underwear and a piece of sheet that has blood. And I'll just leave it at that. And that is the end for locations. Now, honestly, I am not given much with this volume. I love it, guys. I really do. It's just for a video, it's very hard to find some new stuff to add to make it long enough. But the next part will definitely have something that I can actually talk about, because there are a lot of iconic moments. And now that I've said that, let's just get into the next part. Alright, now let's talk about the big one, the iconic moments. So the first iconic moment that I want to talk about is Rudeus visits the student council president. Now, in the beginning of the volume, Rudeus goes to the student council just to see Sylphie. And when he gets there, he really thanks them for taking care of Sylphie and also allowing them to reunite together. And as he says this, the princess asks him a big question, which is, what is his intention with Sylphie? Was it just a one-night stand? Is he going to flirt with other girls? This was a big question on what was going to happen next. And it's there that he reveals that he plans to marry her. And everyone is basically happy. Sylphie is excited. Luke and Ariel are happy for Sylphie because she also wanted to marry him. And that's basically that moment. Now, the reason why I want to put this here is because it's a big step for Rudeus. Before, he was very depressed, all alone. Yeah, he had some friends, but there was not much they could do for him. Now he has a wife, and definitely one big step towards the future for both of them. And that's why I really like this moment. Next is Rudeus and Sylphie talk about their future. Now, this is just a normal moment, but I really do like some of the romance stuff that happens in certain shows. And with Sylphie and Rudeus talking about their futures, they talk about what they want to do. Sylphie still wants to be a guard because she owes a lot to Ariel. And the one thing she doesn't want to do is leave her post just because she got married. And Rudeus accepts her doing that. Now, it might be a big surprise because this is a medieval society and normally the men are the ones to actually call the shots. I think I'm not pretty sure how gender culture is in this world. It could be totally different from what medieval times was like. But anyways, off of that little tangent, it's really good to see them, talking like adults, seeing the future that they want to have and just being a good couple in general. And that's kind of why I put this moment on here. And then next we got Sylphie meeting Elinalise. Now, when Rudeus gets his new house, he throws a party with all his friends. That includes Xanabo, Julie, Princess Ariel, Luke, Silent, Cliff, and, of course, Elinalise. Now, when Elinalise meets the couple, she actually starts to cry. And it's very unclear why she's crying. Cliff is confused, Rudeus is confused. All in all, everyone's confused, except Sylphie. Sylphie actually asks a really shocking question, which is, are you my grandmother? And at first, Elinalise tells her that, no, I'm not. There's no way your grandmother would be like me. I am a whore, I'm not a good woman to be around. But eventually, Sylphie tells her that her father once said that his mother partied with Paul, and that is kind of where she actually put the connections there. Now, of course, they had to go to another room, but while they do that, Elinalise tells Rudeus that Laws was normal. Her daughter is normal. The person she is not what is reflected upon her family. And Rudeus, of course, being Rudeus, makes a light moment and says, yeah, but I'm Paul's son, so honestly, my family's not any better, And of course, they basically go upstairs and tell the story of her children and how she's caused problems with them because, again, medieval times, family really did matter, so if one member of your family did something terrible, that was basically what they saw you as. The connection of a family member really can tarnish your reputation. And it's also because of this that Cliff is more determined to break her curse because he sees the tragic life she's had and she wants to do his best to actually make her live a happy life. Now, the reason why I put this here is because, honestly, this is a big shock. I was not expecting this. I knew they were both elves, but I didn't think anything of it. But it was a really good, happy reunion. Sylphie didn't panic. Sylphie accepted her grandmother, flaws and all, and Elinalise accepted her as well. And, it's a really good meeting thing that I hope Paul and Rudeus will have someday. Next, we got Paul's letter. Now, the reason why this is a big moment is because this is the first time Rudeus has received a letter from his father. Now, the things that we mostly learned from this letter is that his sisters are going to meet up with him, and his father asks them to make them live normal lives. Go to school, meet new people, have some friends, and also, chat with the family. Not going on adventures with Paul and all that. And I just want to put this here because it has been a while. Now thinking about it, it hasn't just been like months or days. It's been years since Paul has seen Rudeus. So many things have definitely changed. For instance, Rudeus is not a kid anymore. He's actually considered an adult. He's 15. So he's definitely matured more than when he was a child. So it really is a touching thing just to have a little bit of, information of what Paul and the others are doing. And that's basically what I have on that. Next, we got the teleported plastic bottle. Now, Nanahoshi has been working on her project for so long, and so far, it has failed completely. She has not made a breakthrough to even just start a foundation on her theory. She's just, exhausted. She really hates it here. She doesn't want to be here, and she hasn't started on anything, and because of this, she actually begins to pass out. And during this time when she passes out, Cliff and Zenobal actually look at the circle that they were looking at and actually kind of help her out. When she wakes up, they find a way to convert the circle into something that would actually work instead of just being some lines. And they test the circle again, and they were able to successfully teleport a bottle here. Now, this is a big moment because, it puts a big step on this. A bottle was teleported, not from across the world, but from a different dimension. This is insane. This actually shows that there's hope for Nanahoshi to go back. It's a big step for Nanahoshi, so good on her. And we might actually get to see her get teleported back to Earth. So it's looking like a big moment will be coming soon. So can't wait to see that. Now, the last two I have here, I'm actually not going to do it in chronological order. I'm going to do this first one here because it is an interesting one, and then I'll talk about the next one. So the second to last one that I have is Rejerd meets Badigadi. I think I'm saying that right, but whatever. Now anyways, the reason why I want to put this here is because when they first meet, they look like they were about to fight. And it actually kind of makes sense. In terms of their history, both of them were fighting on the opposite side. Nowadays, they are on the same side. They really hate La Paz because of what he has done. But it's really interesting to show that even after thousands of years, these demons have a grudge over what happened so long after. And that was basically the end of that short moment. And the last big moment that I want to talk about is Ruijerd and Rudues talk to each other. So, after celebrating the bottle being teleported, Rudeus and Sylphine go home. And the first people they actually see when they go to the gate is Rejerd and his sisters. Now, honestly, when I was reading this was a big moment. Rudeus gets to see his sisters, but not only that, he gets to see the man who actually helped him out from the beginning and was really a big help on why Rudeus was able to make it home. And I honestly just love the guy. I love Rejerd. He's a really good guy. But anyways, let me continue on from where I left off. So when they first meet each other in front of the gate, the one thing Rejerd is actually surprised about is Eris is not his wife. It's a different woman. And the one thing that they talk about mostly is what they've been going through. What Rudeus had been going through, what Rejerd had been going through, things that happened since the last time they talked with each other. And honestly, do I have to really say why this is a good moment? These two people literally traveled across the world together, who left on a very sad note, finally meet up again. And the saddest thing about this moment is, well, Rejerd left as soon as possible. After his work was done, he didn't think it was right for him to stay, and he just left. And it's always so sad. I wanted Rejerd to stay, because he is a really good character, and a very tragic character himself. And I just hope one day I get to see him. He was definitely one of Rudeus' best friends, and it was really good for them to talk to each other after so long. And that is the end of the iconic moments. Like I said, this was going to be the big one. I had so many moments for this, but I hoped it made up for all the other short parts. Alright, now let's end this video. So if I were to rank this volume, well, obviously I'm going to rank it an A. There was really nothing wrong with this volume. The flow was great, we got some interesting characters, so many characters had their own moments, Rudeus got married, and we even got to see old characters come back. Honestly, this was a really good volume. The moments were great, the characters themselves were great, everything was just really amazing. Now, I do have one problem, and that is the world building. Like I said so many times, this is second place so far, next to Volume 7. And the reason for that is because Volume 7 had everything. It had everything that Volume 10 did, and also the world building. So far, this is definitely the best. Now, that's not to degrade this one. This one definitely had its moments to shine, and I would be glad to reread this. Now, obviously, this is not the end of Rudeus' slice and life bit. With him now living with his sisters after being delivered by Rejerd, it seems like there will be more moments for Rudeus to live a normal life, but so far only the future will know. Now, honestly, when it comes to the slice and life trilogy, I'm going to put it, I kinda did like it. Yeah, it started off boring with Volume 8, and then it got a bit better in Volume 9. Volume 10 definitely was good. Now you might be wondering why I'm calling this the end of the trilogy. Well, so far I've actually finished Volume 11, and at this very moment am working on it. So I do know there are some bits there, but I won't get into that because I have all my thoughts on there on the next video. So I hope you guys stop by and get to watch that one. Alright, and that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this. And come back next time. Rudeus is married and his sisters have finally come back in his life. He's finally got a happy ending. And as always, I am the Anime Bro, and see you guys later. Peace!